Hey, it's Abel Krieger here, and today we'll explore how our shadows often conceal a hidden fear of money and how the savior complex might be keeping you poor and constantly playing small. And if you want to learn more about the authentic shadow work methods created by Carl Jung, I invite you to join my newsletter down below. I'll also send you a copy of my book Piscis, Demystifying Jungian Psychology. So now, let's get into it. So recently, I hit an important milestone in my business, but instead of feeling euphoric and happy, when I opened my dashboard and looked at my balance, I noticed this weird anxiety creeping in. And I just couldn't understand what was happening. So I closed my eyes as in a process of active imagination and allowed this feeling to be shaped, basically. And so this feeling became the image of a character being attacked by several whips that latched onto his body, making him feel completely stuck. And then I heard this voice inside my mind saying, nothing is free, and soon you will have to pay your dues. And I know this sounds like a lunatic sharing an experience, but I quickly understood what crazy complex was constellated in this moment. And the good thing is that when something becomes conscious, it loses its overwhelming grip and we can finally work with it. So the first thing we have to understand is that complexes produce narratives in our minds that unconsciously drive our behaviors and decisions. And one thing I learned about receiving money, gifts, or favors is that they always have strings attached. So in other words, once you receive something, you're indebted to this person and have to fulfill all of their expectations. But these aren't, normal or healthy expectations. Like, no, you must forget about your needs, boundaries, and give all your free time to this person. And if you are less than perfect, you risk losing everything. And I know this sounds dramatic, and if you pay attention, you notice this is a very childish narrative. But that's exactly how complexes tend to present themselves. It's very unilateral, especially when they're also attached to skewed religious views. So everyone knows the classic Bible verse, the love for money is the root of all evil. And this belief makes many people pretend money does even exist. They're afraid to check their bank accounts and even feel dirty charging for their services. And of course, if you know anything about the Bible or religion, you know this is bad theology. The problem is greed and loving money above everything else, as money in itself is a mere tool. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, and since I'm not a priest, I want to explore the deeper psychological effects of the savior complex on our financial lives and relationship with money. So to make things extremely simple, when you have an unconscious savior complex, you tend to attach your sense of self-worth and value to always being the helper and being useful. And you conflate receiving love with being needed. The problem is that since you never fulfill your dreams, develop your talents, and create a life you're proud of, you expect all of this sense of accomplishment to come from other people. And the problem is that this makes you create transactional relationships because you have people constantly expecting something in return. And unconsciously, you want them to feel indebted to you and repay in the form of love and validation. And also, for this kind of dynamic to work, the savior tends to gravitate toward broken people or narcissists who will need them the most. And this attitude bleeds into their financial lives, as they tend to spend all of their money on other people, frequently undercharge for their products and services, and even work for free. And this last one hurts, because it reminds me of when I was starting as a therapist. So once this client didn't have the money to pay me at the end of the month. So I proposed to dilute the amount over the next couple of months. And this was a huge mistake. So in the end, I worked 2 months for free and the guy simply vanished. So when you have this unresolved savior complex, you will frequently put yourself in these situations and later feel victimized by the world. But again, we have to look within and understand how we are contributing to these dynamics to finally break this cycle. So first and foremost, you have to be honest with yourself and realize that your favors aren't free. And one thing that saviors fear the most is being perceived as selfish. But if you pay attention, you notice that their attitude is mostly self-serving. So if you identify as a savior, you have to start fulfilling your own needs and developing your own identity to stop projecting them on others. So instead of expecting all of this validation to come from the outside, you must create a life you're proud of and give yourself permission to enjoy nice things and experiences. Because if you are fully honest, you notice that there is an ugly shadow part that feels jealous of the people who are more successful, thinks life isn't fair, and even find hidden greed. And this is there because you never consciously express it and you are constantly victimizing yourself and playing small. So by giving life to these repressed desires, within reason, of course, in a healthy manner, you also free others from your expectations and finally solve your need to be liked. So when you relate to others as an adult, you will also understand they are responsible for their own lives and you shouldn't interfere in their autonomy. And also, when you don't charge a fair price for your services or products, you're also keeping them immature and losing their respect. You must value yourself first, place the right boundaries, and set the tone of the relationship. Because if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody else will. And if you don't respect your craft, no one will value. And you also need clarity about your responsibilities to solve the problem of money having strings attached, especially as a therapist. These boundaries must be clear because you're not there to be liked or save anyone. And if you are unsure, just talk to other professionals to understand what's reasonable or not in your field of work. Because true help must come from a place of high self-esteem and detachment, instead of subliminally trying to fulfill your own agenda. And lastly, you can learn more about Carl Jung's authentic shadow work methods in the next video.